Hey, welcome. Starting an online business is a dream for so many of us. But there's usually this one giant wall that stands in the way, and that's fear. So let's dive into that and figure out how we can tear that wall down. Does this sound familiar? You've got the great idea, you've got the passion, but the second it's time to actually do something, you're frozen, paralyzed. It's such a common feeling, so trust me, you are so not alone in this. But here's the good news. It's absolutely possible to get past this. So in this explainer, we're going to lay out a clear path forward. We're going to see how to turn all that anxiety into real, tangible action and get you from feeling stuck to feeling totally empowered. So let's kick things off by looking right at the heart of the problem. It's this classic battle, right? The incredible dream you have on one side and this nagging fear that's holding you back on the other. And you know that feeling of being totally stuck? It usually comes from a mix of things: worrying about failing, feeling like you're not good enough, or just being terrified of losing time and money. It's a completely natural reaction, especially if this is all new to you. The first step is just admitting that it's normal. Okay, so if we're going to conquer this fear, we first have to understand what we're actually up against. Let's break that big, vague feeling of fear down into four specific, concrete obstacles. Because once we can put a name to them, well, that's when we can really start to fight back. First up, the big one, the fear of failure. This is that little voice in your head that whispers, what if you pour all this time, all this energy, all this money into it, and it just doesn't work? This is probably the number one fear out there. But this is where just a tiny shift in how you see things can change the entire game. I mean, think about it. The most successful entrepreneurs you can name, they all failed. A lot. They just didn't see it as a dead end. For them, every failure was just a lesson, a piece of data that got them one step closer to success. All right, obstacle number 2 is that classic feeling of I'm not good enough. You know, that belief that you just don't have the skills or the talent or the smarts to pull it off. You look at other people succeeding and you think, there's just no way I could ever do that. And the way to fight this? You have to reframe it. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is born an expert. Expertise isn't something you have, it's something you build. With all the resources out there today, the real secret is just starting with what you know and committing to learning as you go. This one's a tough one. The fear of what other people will think. Your friends, your family, complete strangers on the internet. Will they laugh at you? Will they think your idea is stupid? That fear can be so powerful, it can stop a great idea before it even starts. So here's the crucial thing to remember. Other people's opinions don't pay your bills, and they sure don't build your business. I mean, history is just littered with innovators who were told their ideas were crazy at first. Success is what proves the critics wrong, and that comes from your own perseverance, not from a popularity contest. And finally, we had the fear of just being completely and totally overwhelmed. The internet is huge, right? The options seem endless, and you have no idea where to even start. Should you build a website, a blog, focus on social media? It all just feels like too much. The only way to fight this feeling is to shrink your focus way, way down. Don't think about building the entire skyscraper right now. Just think about laying the first brick. What is one small, manageable thing you can do today? Remember, the goal here is progress, not perfection. All right, so we've put a name to the fears. Now for the good part. How do we actually solve them? Well, the answer isn't some fancy tool or tactic. It's all about making a fundamental shift in your perspective. It really all boils down to this. Are you in a blocked mindset or a growth mindset? The blocked mindset says, I'm not good enough. The growth mindset says, I can learn how to be good enough. One sees failure as the end of the road. The other sees it as a valuable lesson for the next try. Seriously, adopting this growth mindset is the single most powerful change you can make. And you can back up that new mindset with some really practical strategies. Don't bet the farm right away. Start small and test your ideas. Don't try to do it all alone. Find a community or a mentor to lean on. And most importantly, practice being resilient. You're gonna hit roadblocks. That's a guarantee. Your mindset is what determines if they stop you or not. Okay, mindset is absolutely crucial. But you also need a map, right? So let's get super practical and turn all these ideas into a clear step-by-step action plan to get you moving. So what does this roadmap look like? Well, it's a pretty straightforward 5-step process. And notice, this isn't about doing everything at once. It's a logical flow. First, know what you're doing and who you're doing it for. Then understand the world you're stepping into. Set some goals. Start small. And running through all of it, of course, is that positive, resilient mindset we just talked about. This is your path. We've covered a ton of ground here. The fears, the mindset shift, the action plan. But honestly, it all comes down to one simple, incredibly powerful idea. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? All the planning, all the thinking, all the research in the world means absolutely nothing without action. Once you take that first step, the path starts to get clearer, the momentum starts to build. It is the hardest step, for sure, but it's also the only one that truly matters. So, I'm going to leave you with this one question. Not what will your first step be tomorrow or next week? What is it going to be today, right now? What is one small, concrete, achievable thing you can do to move that dream of yours forward? Don't let fear get the final say. Start now.